back from our recess. And next before the committee is Department of Commerce. I believe we have Resident Director May Susan Perez here for the Department of Commerce, right? Yeah. Thank you for coming before the committee, and I give you the floor to for your opening statement.
Yes. Good afternoon, Chairman Sablan and member of the Ways Means Committee. My name is Susan Perez, and I am the Resident Department Head for Department of Commerce. As I am fully aware of the financial challenges that CNMI will face in FY26, I will keep my testimony brief and focus on my department's most critical needs. In FY 2025, I have 7 funded full-time employees, with 2 of them are funded under the tobacco settlement funds. In the governor's submission, the 2 FTEs were included in my personal funding, and I would like to thank the governor and OMB for funding this position under the general funds to secure their payroll and the duration of the fiscal year. For my operating expenses, I currently use my revolving fund account of approximately 9,000 per year to pay utilities, as the mayor has allowed me to fund my most essential expenses under the tobacco settlement funds. However, I would like to request that my office rental, communication, and fuel be funded in my general account in the amount of 24,400 to allow for tobacco settlement funds to use for continued ABTC training program to promote anti-tobacco and operating and office supplies. In conclusion, my request is to fund my most essential operating expenses in my operation account. Thank you again for allowing me to identify my most critical needs in my department, and I am ready to address any question or concern you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Susan Perez. And before we start on questions, just for the record, Ms. V, again, we see some variances on the fringe benefits. This is again the same, right, with other departments, just for the record.
Yes, acknowledge.
Okay.
Same as others.
All right, thank you. I see under Commerce, RD Perez, you have some requests, and it is indeed in your opening statement for rental offices, right?
Yes, sir.
At a tune of 15,000.
600.
600. Currently, what's paying the rental offices right now? Currently, in this current budget, you are budgeted for this rental office currently or not?
No.
No, not at the moment. No.
No.
Okay. And then when you have this request of 2,000 for personal training costs, are these for your ABTC law enforcement employees or for every employee under your department?
Every employee under my
Okay.
department, sir.
Thank you. And your request of 1,289 for other expenses, what are these expenses that are you requesting these funds for?
These are the expenses that we might need for like additional office supplies and other stuff.
So office supplies. Thank you
Yeah.
for that clarification. I now open up the floor for any members who ask questions for RD Perez. Let me recognize the Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, RD. Thank you for making yourself available this afternoon to join us in this budget hearing. On the revolving account, you're currently using those for operational expenses or just supplies?
No, I use it also for operational expenses.
including rental space? Are you guys being charged rental space at the moment?
No, I don't use it for rental for every month, but the tobacco settlement funds is the one helping me to pay for that rental every month. That's coming from the mayor's office.
Okay, and that's direct revenue on your revolving account, right, under commerce?
Yeah, the revolving account that I have, the 9,000, is all the ABTC income like licenses, IDs, and I use it mostly for the ABTC.
ABTC program.
Yes, sir.
In regards to central commerce, the central government commerce, when it comes to training, do they include your office, your staff for training under whether it's ABTC or any other training
Yes.
available? And do they pay for that, or does that come out of you guys' budget?
No, actually, I'm very grateful. Thank you to the Secretary of Commerce that every time there's a training in Saipan, they always include Tinian, including the uniform. And
Okay.
like recently, we just had the training for the guns, and they need to replace it. They pay for everything.
Okay, that's good to know,
Yes.
because that doesn't trickle down to all other departments. I'm glad that it's happening with commerce.
Yeah.
But outside of that, how about trainings outside of the Commonwealth, or any types of I guess conferences that directly affects commerce?
Yes.
Is it paid for by the central office, or
No,
do they
they
just
always pay. The central office
central
always pay.
office
Yeah.
always pay? Okay.
Every time they have a training outside the Commonwealth, they always include Tinian, and they pay for everything.
Okay, that's good news. I'm glad to hear that. I wish we would have heard the same thing in our last budget hearing on Rhoda, but that's good to know that that they're taking responsibility for the staff that are fall under your office. Under the rental of office space, the 15,600. That's just an anticipation that you guys were going to be charged rental space, or are they going to begin charging rental space to you guys?
Okay.
So Congressman, currently, the rental for commerce of 1,300 a month is paid under the settlement fund that's under the mayor's expenditure authority. Well, but see, so the issue that came up is when the last fiscal budget made the scope of the revolving funds more open, more flexible, then a lot of the expenses for not only commerce but for the other departments had to be funded by that account. So the request for commerce now is to take it and put it back into their general account like the other three departments that have rental. So then that way it's secured, because otherwise there's so much pressure on these revolving funds that the mayor's has, that we want to make sure that the rental is taken care of within its department. So that's why we want to shift the 15,600 into an operating line item under the Department of Commerce.
It's just a general operation account, or specifically for rental?
I mean, either way. I mean, it would go specifically for rental, but if you wanted to put it under all others, it's fine. But you could just put it specifically for rental, because then that way, when they go out for their contract, at least they could identify the funding source when they put it through procurement.
Okay. All right, and then going back to the employees, and I know Ms. V had made it clear, right? That's just the anticipation of employees going with the high option Aetna insurance, correct? How about in your current staff? Are they all just paying to Social Security, or are there members under the DB plan or the 401k plan, DC plan?
Some of them, they don't want to enroll on the 401k. So not everyone in my
Not-
department, yes.
How many within your department?
Okay, so no, including Vicenta. So we're at 7 employees. We only have 2 under 401k, and the rest is not contributing.
Okay, so the rest are only under Social Security,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
And that's funded, currently funded. But I guess it's really bad again. September 30th is the last day of the fiscal year, and open enrollment comes in November, December. Is there an anticipation that, I mean, obviously, if you're gonna put a budget together, you always go for the highest possible option, right? But OMB submitted a budget to the legislature with what they currently have in their system, and maybe to include even some vacancies. In your case, they actually budgeted for those two new positions. I know that you're not asking for any new positions, but maybe down the road in the future, if you do consider that option, that maybe we can go through the WIA program first. And I know labor's coming up, and that's one of the things we need to post with labor pretty soon when they come up with the option. But for now, thank you for your time, and I yield my time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice. And RD Perez, I see that you have requested 6,600 for utilities, but it wasn't in the governor's proposal. So, does the mayor office pay your utilities, your department's utilities as well?
As for now, yes, they are.
Okay, all right. Any questions from the members? Recognize Representative TJ Maglonia, and then Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Director and Chief of Staff and the Mayor for welcoming us back to Tinian. It's kind of a generalized question that, you know, circles back to like revenue generation and kind of what the Mayor was talking about, you know, economic opportunities here on Tinian. How is your coordination with the CEDA office and the SBDC here on island? You guys work together to kind of provide technical assistance to potential, you know, people that want to start up a business, or
No,
as far as
they
commerce
have
goes?
their own office,
Mhm.
and so far we never have any collaboration as of now. But we are planning to do a collaboration with them, as we see there's a lot of younger entrepreneur getting their licenses, so that will be on the plan to collaborate with them.
Okay, yeah, I just asked because on Saipan, you know, we see it a lot with Secretary of Commerce and CEDA and SBDC. They do a lot of cross collaboration just to kind of, you know, address any new economic opportunities, or also, you know, just provide technical assistance. So do you guys receive any like federal funding to assist in particular with your office, or
For my office?
Yeah.
No.
nothing at all? How about like the SSBCI? Is that just all through Saipan?
Yeah, everything is in Saipan. I
Okay.
don't have any federal funding.
Okay, okay. Noted. Thank you. And then also back to the state of the economy. As far as like the flight situation, how would you characterize that? Are the flights steady? Is it meeting the current demand of the island, or
Flight, you meant?
yeah, current flight situation
The flight
Yeah.
situation.
coming
The-
here to Tinian? Yeah.
I don't have any data on that,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Okay.
think the MBA has it.
Okay, okay, thank you. I just mentioned that because we were recently asked also as part of the ferry service study, right? Bringing the ferry here to Tinian, and if it would be viable, or if there's a, you know, a higher demand for, you know, an influx of passengers here to Tinian. So I just, you know, I wanted to see if you guys had any data on that, but I guess that's for MVA.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then lastly, I saw a request for 7,800 for communications. Is this just for ABTC mostly, or?
For the whole office.
Okay, okay. All right, noted. Thank you. That's all I have for now.
Thank you, Rep. TJ. Recognize Representative Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Chairman. Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
How was your lunch? You had a good lunch?
Good, good. Very good.
So I noticed that you mentioned that you're very grateful to the mayor and to all your other counterparts under the municipality for covering some of your expenses. And I guess, and that brings me to this particular question, because obviously the chief of staff is here. Mayor, when you're talking about her rental, or the rental for commerce, where would you be taking that money from? Any of your special funds? Okay. Do you know which account that's coming out from? Okay. Greenfield building? Because
Oh, no, no.
I'm
It-
assuming that you guys have a blanket reprogramming authority. You can take from one place to pay something else. Is that,
If we have sufficient operating funds, yeah.
okay.
But that comes from one of the revolving funds.
Okay.
It doesn't come from our operating funds.
Okay, so, Tinian Local Law 2301, Tinian Mayor Discretionary, it wouldn't come out from there?
No, definitely not.
Okay,
It's a general fund account.
general fund.
So the anti-tobacco, the
Mhm.
tobacco settlement funds,
Mm-hmm,
so Tinian in the last two budgets
mm-hmm.
were appropriated or allocated 54,000. It's coming out of those funds.
Okay. So, do you have any repairs and maintenance for your office, ma'am?
If I have, I use my revolving account.
And you use your revolving account, which comes from Commerce,
Yes.
whatever.
The
um,
1959
license
C.
fees. Okay. And I'm assuming the owner of the building does all the other maintenance?
Yes.
Okay. No other place that takes care of your bills besides the mayor's discretion, one of the mayor's discretionary fund? Any other place that helps you pay for your bills?
My revolving account,
Okay, which one is that?
the 1959 C.
Which is the settlement?
No, no,
the
no, that's
tobacco?
another. So every year we have licenses from tobacco, betel nut, and alcohol.
Correct.
So whatever licenses they have to pay,
Uh-huh.
that is my revolving account for
Okay.
my department.
Got you. And how much do you anticipate for next fiscal year?
Every year it increases, not that much, but last few years, like 8,000. Last year is 9,000.
Okay.
Hopefully we're gonna go more next year. Yes.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Chairman. I yield.
Thank you, Rep. Marisa Flores. Are there any other questions from the members? Recognize Representative Julie Ogo.
Thank you, Chairman. Nice to see you again, R.D. Paris, and again, Alan. I'm just curious because one of your revolving account you say is from the business license, correct? Or permits that you've
Alcohol
collected?
licenses.
Alcohol licenses?
Alcohol, betel nut, and tobacco licenses.
Okay, so the business license goes into the general funds
Uh,
when you
the
collect
business
it?
license don't come to
I'm
me.
sorry, yeah.
It's in finance.
Finance. So, because just last week when we were in Rhoda, we were asking the RD, you know, how much balance they have in that account, and he's not aware that there's actually funds in there. And according to the RD for finance in Rhoda, that amount that OMB certified is not the correct amount. So they believe that it's intermingling with Saipan and Tinian's collection. So I wanted to just clarify with SOF, what is the actual amount for Rhoda and Tinian's collection for that account?
This is for the business license
Yes, yeah,
collection?
yeah.
Okay, I'll have to get back to you on that, but I'll note down the question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Ogo. Any questions from the other members? If there's no further questions, recognize Representative Marisa.
Thank
Or-
you. Thank you, Chairman. I'm sorry. So I guess because the Chief of Staff is here, and I just want to double check. On your mayor's fund, you have a balance, budgeted amount of 209,000, expenses of 11,000. You still have some available funding. Will you be tapping into any of that funding to assist any of your other agencies?
Are we talking about the settlement, the tobacco settlement account?
No, we're actually talking about the Mayor of Tinian account, 7658. On other expenses, because all the other offices have other expenses added on or were zeroed out. So I'm just wondering if there's any other expense that Commerce may need for contingency planning or emergencies, will you be using this fund to cover any of the shortfall, if available?
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, that's basically how things work here.
Mhm.
Everything just funnels directly into the mayor's office for all eight departments if they have insufficient funding.
Okay,
So, yeah.
all right, just wanted to double check that. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you, Rep. Marisa. Any further questions from the members? If there is no more further questions, President Director Susan Perez. Let me recognize Representative Julie Ogo.
One more question, RD Perez. These two vacancy that you're asking or requesting for, what is that, what's the title at the end of the? gonna be-
ABTC 1 and ABTC 3, but
So
I already fill it in.
Okay,
They
so
are all
it's in law
working now.
enforcement, no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Ogo. RD Susan Perez, we want to, on behalf of the committee, we want to thank you for coming before this August body and answering our questions. And at this time, I give you the last comments if you have anything to say.
Well, thank you for not getting a lot of questions. And hopefully whatever request that I put in on my testimony will be granted, and I'll be grateful if ever happen. And welcome to Tinian.
Thank you, RD Susan Perez. So next under our agenda is Department of Labor. I think we have the folks of Department of Labor here. Thank you, sir, for joining this committee, and I give you the floor for your opening statement. Please state your name for the record. Sus Mosit.
Good afternoon. My name is Jace Nicholas. I am the resident department head for the Department of Labor on Tinian. I would like to begin by acknowledging the House Standing Committee on Ways and Means, Chairman John Paul Sablan, the Vice Chair Jonathan Atto, committee members present, the Honorable Mayor Edwin Adon, fellow colleagues, distinguished guests, and attendees. I am here today to discuss with you and provide testimony related to the Department of Labor Tinian budget submission for fiscal year 2026. I commend the challenge. The most common challenge faced by any person in similar circumstances as myself is to compel a body such as yours to provide full fundings for a budgetary request outlined in our submission. However, I and the entire CNMI are keenly aware of our current financial situation and the state of the CNMI's economy. We read it every day on the headlines and watch it on the news. It will take time to fully recover economically as elected officials such as yourself to find solutions. I appreciate the challenge you face today and tomorrow. I can relate to the positions you are in. Tough decisions had to be made. Solutions must be found for the problems before you. In the past, we've had our power disconnected and our phone lines disconnected, as well as the internet services. These issues were resolved by a large part to the support and assistance by our mayor, Honorable Edwin Adon. He was swift in responding when we reached out for his assistance. I have worked with the CNMI Secretary of Labor, Lela Stafford, in working out situations to address a few of our needs. While the assistance provided to my department is appreciated, I can venture to guess that it is not sustainable for the long run. So it is at this point that I want to steer towards the matter before you today. There are 8 budgetary items listed in our budget request for fiscal year 26 under operations. They are repair and maintenance at 3,000, communications at 2,000, office supplies at 3,000, operational supplies at 2,000, fuel and lubrication 1,000, utilities 4,005, and of course the public auditor at 1%. Of the 8 budgetary items under operations I just mentioned, I would like to highlight 4 I deem critical, or 3 I deem critical. My definition of critical is something we cannot do without. The critical items are communications, utilities, public auditor. Now, allow me to share with you these budget items that are critical. Communications, like I mentioned earlier, that we have had our telephone lines along with the internet services disconnected. In this age of technology we live in today, communication is part of our daily operations and is essential. I wouldn't bore you on this matter, but rather allow me to make my opinion, my point, in a different way. I wager that every person in this room owns a cellular device. We have constantly interfaced with it to transition and receive data in real time. During the course of my presentation, persons in this room did just that. Okay. We are requesting 2,000 for the entire fiscal year to pay for these services. Our average bill is anywhere from 1,006, 150 to 160 per month for the services. Excuse me. For the entire year, so we may pay 1,008 or 1,920. So you might grant our request for 2,000. We might not end up using the full amount. In any unused funds will return to the government, plus we only have a single line. The third is utilities. It's 4,005. Utilities, I believe, are crucial budget item in our department's request. We are requesting 4,005 to service 3 prepaid accounts for the entire fiscal year. Utility bills will fluctuate monthly, but the amount we are requesting is regularly based on actual consumption in recent months. Thank you, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, R.D. San Nicolas, Jace. Where is your offices located at currently?
The same building as the mayor, but more to the left side.
Wow, you're one lucky department that got awarded with the 12,000 rental offices from the governor's proposal. But with you mentioned utilities at 4,005, right? Currently, is the mayor's office paying for your utilities for your offices?
No, our utilities is getting paid by the WIA department.
You mean the WIA department stipend?
Yes, stipend.
Office is paying for your utilities. Okay.
Yes. The utility and power and the phone. Sorry.
Okay. Let's open up the question now for members. I recognize the Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just to piggyback on the chairman, thank you again, Mr. San Nicolas, for joining us this afternoon and making yourself available for questions on the budget. Just to piggyback on on that rental, was that one of the requests asked by the Department of Labor was rental money.
Yes.
The mayor's office currently not charging you for rental space, or the landlord's not charging
Oh,
labor
yes,
for rental,
they're charging us rental space at I believe $1,000 a month.
and the mayor's currently paying for that rental space, or is
No,
it WIA?
I think we were budgeted last. Yeah.
25 budget has for. Okay, yes, okay. The February budget, right? Okay, so well, I bring that up because prior to that revised budget, you guys were not being charged rent, or weren't budgeted any rental money, and in your listings of the three most important things was communications, utilities, and I forget what the other one was. And that's currently being paid by the WIA office, right? You're one of the divisions within Department of Labor.
Yeah, so far they're paying for my power and my phone lines. But that's only gonna last until September.
So they're closing. They're not gonna pay for it starting October 1st.
I need to meet up with the secretary again and try and make to check on their their federal funds.
Sure. So I understand. And we as the federal program within
Yes.
the Department of Labor, right?
Yes.
And so currently, how long have they been paying for this for you guys?
I believe since we got disconnected, February, March. Yeah.
Just
Even-
this fiscal year?
Yeah, just
Or
this fiscal year.
Just this fiscal year? That's as per the request from your office to the secretary's
Yes.
office?
Yes.
Okay, and then this is something that's potentially going to be ongoing
Yes.
for the next fiscal year, 2026.
Not sure.
Is that something that you can maybe get back to the committee, because if those are your priorities and it's going to be addressed already, then it's really not necessarily going to be your three main most important issues, because it's taken care of.
No, but
Meaning,
we is paying the utility the power, but that's only gonna last until the September.
that's what I'm asking,
Yeah.
because you said that you're gonna get back with the secretary, and then
For
this
the
might.
following year, for 2026, if they can. But if we get the budget, then
Yeah.
I don't need to request through the WIA or the.
I do understand that, but rather than get the budget for rental or for everything that you had mentioned that can be addressed by the federal side, then we can kind of free up this money to address other issues that labor needs, rather than depleting what the local appropriations are, when you can actually utilize the federal funds to address your needs for your office, and then any other needs can be addressed by the. Meaning, what we're trying to do is to, once we complete the budget, that if we know that the federal funds are going to address these issues, we can utilize these other monies for other
Yeah,
important
okay. Yeah, I understand.
stuff for your office. Not unless you want us to just move it over to the mayor's office and make it easier that way. But we're not trying to tell you that we're going to take away the money. We're offering this as an opportunity to be able to use the money for something else, rather than strictly putting it for rental and allow operational costs because you guys are asking for operational costs, and you're short 11,154 from your submission and the governor's submission. Rather than being that in the red, you transfer the rental into operational costs, so it'll put you guys in the green. Then anything that can be addressed on the federal side can address the needs for the office, so you can free up some of the money to address other pressing issues. And sorry, you've been sitting here all morning, and we brought up these vacancies. Have these other line item departments within the municipality of Tinian and Aguigan been to your office to request for a WIA under the WIA program to address the needs, rather than asking the mayor's office for an MOU and actually putting these employees, these individuals into work for the various departments, if they qualify, so that WIA can actually pay for their employment for the 6 months, potentially a year, and can transition in to be full-time employees?
Yes, I believe right now DPS is communicating with the city director Mr. Torres in Saipan Villa.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And so this is DPS trying to get a
Going-
psycho in for
Yes.
DPS?
Yes.
Okay. What about the other departments?
I believe Public Works tried the WIA assistance
Mm.
or are trying.
Okay. No, that's a good thing because the mayor is talking in his testimony this morning. He's talking about trying to do the lateral transfer and give these guys employees. The one thing we didn't ask the mayor was we're gonna also take the funding that's supposed to go to the mayor and follow suit to the line item departments and agency. Maybe that might be something down the road, but currently, I guess the important thing is to get the line item departments to go through your office to utilize as much as we can through the WIA program, so we can get people employed without using our general appropriations to we can recover financially and actually hopefully get these people right into permanent status as in employment. Thank you again, Mr. Nicolas. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair Bijayato. Any member? Let me recognize Rep. Julie Ogo.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to follow up on the utilities portion here. You say that WIA, or Department of Labor, Saipan, pays for the internet, probably landline,
Yes.
including power.
Yes.
Are you guys on prepaid right now?
Yes.
Okay, so the municipality is not paying for the power?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Julie Ogo. Any member has a question? Recognize Floor Leader Marissa Flores.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. Okay, I'm just gonna go back, follow up on this rental. So, Vice Chair mentioned about this leveraging of funds from the federal award to pay and offset, right, some of what you're requesting for on the local side. So my question is, since you're together with the mayor in the mayor's building, you pay the mayor?
No.
No.
Same landlord, but two different
Same landlord, two different
offices,
offices.
two different contracts.
How big is your space?
Oh, ours is huge.
Or yours, sir?
Theirs is very small.
Only 2 units?
2 units, square meters?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And they charge you 1,000?
Yes.
And just a follow-up, if I may, Chairman, in regard to a particular funding source. Can I say that because it's under the municipality?
Chris, was it?
Thank you. So, Chief Paris, you have a Tinian Repair Municipal Building, but you're renting the office space.
We're renting our current office space,
Okay.
yes.
So who does the repair on all of your office space since you're renting, not the landlord?
Well, the landlord does.
Okay, so what is this Tinian Repair Municipal Building Fund? What is that?
Is it a revolving fund?
I don't know. Is it?
Is that a DPW revolving fund? I know DPW has a revolving fund. You have two revolving funds, but
Are
I'm not
you,
a-
okay,
I'm not aware of a
okay.
mayor's office.
It just says Tinian Repair Municipal Building, so I don't know. When you say municipal, I'm thinking
could
the
be the building
municipality or?
occupancy. Revolving fund, right? Vicky?
We can double check with her. I just wanted to know because then, if we're trying to find money to help fund some stuff, we can look and free up some cash somewhere else. I'm just trying to get an idea of what these funds pay for, because if there is an existing and a substantial amount of money that can be used to offset what they're asking for and start using what this stuff is, since it's accruing interest somewhere, and maybe we can start using that. So that's why I wanted to ask.
So all the departments' revolving funds, we don't touch that. The mayor's office allows them to use that for their operations. But
Okay.
then again, it's not enough. So then we supplement it with whatever funds that we have.
Okay, all right, thank you, Chairman. I yield.
Thank you, Floor Leader. Any other members have questions for RD Jace San Nicolas? If there is no further question for RD San Nicolas, RD, on behalf of the committee, we thank you for coming before this August body. And I give you the floor for your last words.
There's one more item I want to request.
Please
Is,
proceed.
the FTE, for labor law enforcement 1. It's making at $1. I was wondering if you guys can, was this give me fundings for that position?
Yeah, are you talking about the FT, the NOP that it's funded under the dollar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We have duly noted. Are there anything other?
That's it.
If that's it, thank you, RD San Nicolas, and we will proceed on our next department, and that will be Department of Lands and Natural Resources, and I believe we have Mr. Bora here before us. Don Cluna. And Councilman Esteban Cabrera, thank you for coming here to this budget hearing. And at this time, I give you the floor for your opening remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you everybody for coming down to Tinian to listen to our problems here. Welcome to Tinian. My name is Gil Borja. I'm the resident department head for the Department of Lands and Natural Resources here. And my right is my deputy director, who takes care of most of the admin work. So I don't have much to say, but just a lot of wish that you guys can look into our problem, especially on the heavy equipment side. We do a lot of mowing for the ranchers here, and we need fuel and repairs and lubricant, and we weren't given any. So if you check that out, they zero us on that, and we really need that. And we got several divisions under the Department of Lands and Natural Resources. We got the Fish and Wildlife, Parks and Recreation, the agriculture side. Yes, so, and even the heavy equipment operations, we handle those. And we thought that critical area there, I think we wouldn't be able to function anything at all, do any service to the public. So if you can help us with that, Mr. Chairman and members, look into that problem and see if you can put some dollars in there instead of zero. Like I said, I don't have much to say, but to listen to you guys, whatever you guys gonna ask me, and I'll be proudly answering your questions.
Sizus Masi, RD Bora. When you mentioned that the agriculture division that's under your department, is that the Soil and Water Conservation Division?
We are trying to get the soil and water conservation for a long time.
Okay.
I just recently heard that it will be given to the NMC. So I'm confused, as to where they're going to put the soil and water conservation.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Just looking at your worksheet, the department did not request any funding for utilities, so I'm assuming that all your divisions under your department, your utilities are being paid by the mayor's office. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, in all honesty, it was also oversight on my part that I did not include any request for utilities. I've been usually in the past, we always put in requesting amount for that utilities. Just like I said, I admit was oversight.
So, what is the cost of all the divisions under the department with regards to utilities on an annual basis? Do you
Okay.
have that just a rough figure?
For annually, around about 30,000 would be enough.
For the
And yeah, for the agriculture. And I would just like to add also that we have a repair shop, but that building is prepaid.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that clarification. The floor is open for any member that wishes to ask questions for Department of Land and Natural Resources. For clarification, recognize the floor leader, Marissa Flores.
Chairman, I know there's several departments and can you just, again, for the record, what falls under DLNR? Agriculture, Office, Parks and Rec, Fish and Wildlife? Is that correct? Okay, and Soil and Water is different, or is that included? That's also part of DLNR?
Yes.
For now? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, for further questions, recognize the Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Bora and Mr. Cabrera, for making yourself available this afternoon. You had mentioned in your opening statement, Mr. Borja, that you've done a lot of mowing for the farmers on the island. These are the ranchers, or this is anybody open?
Mostly ranchers, but we do have some farmers that requested for our services also.
Do you guys charge for any of these services?
Yes, we do
How-
charge them.
How much do you guys charge them?
At the present time, we're only charging them $12 an hour.
And how much is the fuel here on Tinya?
Almost, I believe it's $8 for diesel, maybe.
So, are you guys stuck at $12 an hour, or is there a way to change the fees?
We were just discussing that not too long ago, that we need to meet with our delegation to raise up the the cost of services, because it doesn't match. It will never match. Like Saipan, for example, I think is charging 16 or something dollars an hour, so we can be all uniform.
But your $12 is not set in stone, right? Is it a regulation, or is it a local law that's saying $12?
Oh, from my understanding, there was a Tinan local law for it's called the agriculture. I'm sorry, I'm not mistaken. It's a public law, and under the agriculture revolving fund, and it's not specifically saying $12 an hour. It's set by the secretary to a consultation with the resident directors.
So it's just a regulation then, right? So you guys can change it.
We can change that, and I believe when I first came in, all three islands got the same charges, except Saipan just recently raised up their fees. So I don't know, Congresswoman Ogo, if Rota still have $12, 12, less than 12, see. So we need
So-
to raise it up. a
So
little.
I guess you guys definitely wouldn't need the Tinian delegation, but it'd be important that as a resident director under the Department of Lands and Natural Resources, you should I guess send a letter to the Secretary of DLNR to allow the regulations to be adjusted, meaning these fees. In this case, it's the fees, so you guys can work with that. I mean, you guys have opportunities here on Tinian with the investment of the military, or even Jones Bob Jones's investment into purchasing cattle from you guys. Maybe for every purchase of cattle, you remove that $12, but you guys get a percentage for every sale by each farmer.
That
Is
would
that
be a long
something-
dream for him to buy our cattle.
I'm just,
But,
I'm just.
but anyway, I've spoken with Jack Ogomoro regarding raising up the fees already. So I'm beginning to work on that because we cannot afford.
Yeah, and yeah, that's why I asked how much is the gas
Yeah,
per gallon over here, because it's probably more expensive than Rhoda right now.
more.
And you guys only have one gas station here, and then diesel is another challenge to get here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so excuse me, sorry. How many revolving accounts do you guys have?
Division-wide, we have 3 revolving funds.
3 revolving funds.
Yes.
Which divisions?
Okay, under the Division of Agriculture, we have the Agriculture Equipment Revolving Fund and the Cattle Slaughter Fee. And then over to Division of Fish and Wildlife is their fish and game license and permits.
What's in the how much are in those accounts, and or how much the average collection on an annual basis for each of the respective revolving accounts?
Okay, Mr. Vice Chairman, every year it fluctuates.
I do understand,
Yeah,
but if there
so-
was an average, what's the average?
Okay, for the Agriculture Equipment Revolving Fund, to the best of my knowledge, like between $2,000 and $3,000.
2 to 3,000. How about the cattle and the fish and wildlife?
Oh, for the cattle slaughter, we're lucky if we reach $100, but less, might be less. On average,
That's $100 a month, or
no, per year.
oh, per year?
Yes.
With that nice slaughterhouse you guys have over there? Okay.
And for the license, because it's not all year round, it's by season, I would say about $500 to $600 a year.
How about also the 500 to 600 is the fish and wildlife one?
Yes.
Okay. And do you guys get assistance directly from the main office down in Saipan? DLNR.
We answered that. So far, nothing. We haven't got any assistance. In fact, I was going to bring out something to you folks that just recently with the military, Leesburg area, they had given us supposedly $250,000. 100,000 goes to Tinian, 150 stays on Saipan. And I have no spending authority. Only Saipan has. Yeah. That's
So
what I say.
Your 100,000 is already in the bank, or it's in an account?
It's an account that Saipan is taking care of. I spoke with the lady, with the federal lady, and she said, well, it's customary that we send the money to Saipan, the central government. I say, yes, I understand that, but if all the work is done here in Tinian, don't you think they should give us more, instead of, so we're getting 1/3 anyway. It's the same as the island. They get the 2/3, we get the 1/3. So,
Okay, so and those accounts would be
with
sorry,
DLNR.
those accounts, or were they created already with these funds that they're talking about? 250K. What was the money for the military?
For the military Leesburg area, for Fish and Wildlife to patrol their areas, same as water, patrol the waters of the 2/3, and also the beaches. So they were given the money, but what I'm saying here is that money is supposed to be for my people here to do the patrols, but they're getting $100,000, 150,000 stays on Saipan. So I don't know how we can come up with that.
No, he was talking about the Fish and Wildlife enforcement in regards to the property and the shoreline.
Yeah, regarding the, because we're mandated to do patrols in their areas, so that's why they had given us that money. But Saipan is the one in charge of that money. So if they say we want to buy you a car, they will buy us a car. I asked for a boat because we don't have a boat. They said, well, it's going to have to be next year again, then maybe the following year, because they cannot buy a new boat at one time, so they want to combine the two-year thing.
Okay, so we'll take note on that, and then when we get the DLNR and the budget hearing, we will bring that issue up
Please.
to them. We just want to make sure that we cite the correct, or so we'll get that that language or that information from you, because I guess it's money that's there, and then they're telling you how to use the money at the same time. So
Very true. The director of Fish and Wildlife is the right person to talk to. They're the one that has the money.
all right, thank you for that, and right now I yield my time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you again.
Thank you, Vice. Any questions? Let me recognize Representative Julie Ogo.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Ardia Borja, for joining us today, and Steve also. I just want to visualize maybe how much possibly we can, increase the equipment rental for the farmers or ranchers. So you're saying it's $12 per hour. How much is the diesel? You use diesel, right? And here in Tinian, how much is that per gallon?
Oh, it's like more than 2 months I haven't go and inquire, but I know that the gas 7 plus, and it's always usually the diesel that's more expensive than the gas.
$8.30.
Okay,
DPW
$8.30.
does inform me.
So I assume your equipment operator here under agriculture is earning 24,000 plus per annum. Is he the operator of that equipment?
No, we only have 2 heavy equipment operators, and one is making less than that, way
Oh.
less than that.
So I am looking at here under agriculture. There's 2 of them earning 24,000 plus. Is that correct?
Sorry, Councilman, what was that again?
So
Under
you
repair?
have 2 equipment operator 3 under agriculture division, and both of them are earning 24,000 plus per annum. That's correct, right? And I
Yes.
assume that's the personnel that's doing the dissing or for the agriculture?
Yes, under
Is that the person?
agriculture, yeah.
Okay. So at 24,563, TG, can you calculate what's that per hour in that? So you're looking at per hour when you send out your operator to this a plot. If you're gonna include the labor per hour, you're looking at almost $20, and you're only charging $12. You're losing a lot of money. So we recommend that you visit or talk to the Secretary of DLNR and Saipan in increasing the amount. And one more question. I just wanted to clarify, you don't have a land registration division in DLNR? No. There's no need for that division here in Tinian?
We would like to, but even now, we're having hard time finding money, so, but we sure like to, because Rhoda has, right?
We do have, yes.
See?
Yeah, so I was just wondering why there's no land registration in your division. So it's just funding issue for an FTE.
Well, they never had it ever since I came in. I've been in with the department for 8 years, and when I came in, there was none. So we just never looked forward to having that. But it would be nice to have that.
Okay, all right, thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Ogo. Recognize Representative Denita Yangtamay.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for welcoming us on your beautiful island. I may have something for the fish and wildlife section. To get your car and your vehicle and your boat and the jet skis and everything you want. So I don't know. Have you ever received grant from the Coast Guard?
No, we never.
Okay, maybe you should ask Saipan. I don't know where the money went or who's giving, but Saipan just received $805,357 for this year. And
That's why
it's to be used between fish and wildlife and boating safety.
Wow,
So,
that's good to know.
yes, please look into it so you can have all your vehicles and boats ready.
Well, I asked for a boat about a week ago, and they said, "Oh, their boats are broken." So, I don't know whether they.
Yes, please ask them about that. It's recreational boating safety grant, and you can look it up, and you can see that the CNMI has been receiving this money since ever since.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
20-44, I clearly remember that law. When they're supposed to be giving Tinian and Rhoda 10% of whatever Saipan has, like for the Manyagawa fees, for example. But we never had any, so that makes that law kind of useless. We never received any.
Thank you, Chair. I yield.
Thank
Happy
you,
birthday
Representative,
to all of you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Yangtamay. Recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Chairman. So I'm going to go backwards. I'm looking about the land stuff. So you have farmers that you clear land for, and who else?
Ranchers.
And ranchers. Do you have a listing of all of those people? And how wide and how big their land is that you clean for them as a service?
No, we don't have the sizes, but when we send, for example, a tractor for one rancher, sometimes it would take 1 week, while the other rancher would take 2 weeks to
Okay.
finish.
All right, so here's my next question. There's no other private business that does that type of service except for DLNR?
Some of them have their own tractor,
Some of them?
and if some of the ranchers have their own tractors, but if they were to lease it out to other ranchers, they would charge $35 an hour. So they will come to us for the $12 an hour.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's where we're going with this, right? I'd really like to know who those people that own the ranch and the tractor and then just charge you guys and someone else all this other stuff. That would be good to know. But I think in terms of revenue generation, right, and sustainability for your office, there's many special funds that you can tap into. I just need to figure out which one of them can help you, because obviously sustainability is a big concern for everybody in all three islands. Have you considered, how do they charge? Just by the hour? They don't charge by the size of the plot?
Just by the hour.
Just by the hour. So let's say on average, when you do 1 week of work, how much is that coming in to you in total revenue? Let's say you do, how many plots a month do you average?
We haven't, to be honest with you folks, we haven't sat down and considered that
Okay.
or
Well,
take a
and
look
I,
at that.
you know, and you would, that way you could at any rate, they're still gonna use the 30, you guys at $12, right?
Yes.
Maybe that's something that we can look into the delegation, because if these are government workers or public servants that have a business outside of tractor or what they're doing and have tractor services and what have you, and not declaring that as an income, then that poses a problem, right? What we want to do is to give you guys the upper hand and collect funds so that you can support your office at some point. And that always seems to be the problem. You have people competing with the government that are either working for the government, and that is a disservice, especially if they're not accounting for it in their financial statement. But I just like to know, I mean, I'm with the rest of the group at lifting up your fees, either that or matching it at 35 and see where they go. Right? At the end of the day, they can't go to you because they're going to go to you at 12. They're not going to go to the 35. So you might as well meet in the middle and just say 35, and it's competition now. Whoever's going to do the job faster and who can get it done. So please consider that. I think that would be, that way you tie them up, and either you take them out of business and you're the only one in existence, and that would be greater for you, right? Maybe not for the BGR, but in terms of office sustainability.
Popularity.
There you go. And then do you get any other supports from the mayor? Does the mayor support you in any other way?
If we do have fuel shortage, he put in, so as Public Works support us also.
Because you have fuel lubrication for agriculture at 20,000.
Well, the reason why we put that amount is because we try to put more before, and we never get any. So we figure we lower it down, so maybe if we can get at least that one, that would really help.
Okay, and then my last question, Chairman. You have repairs and maintenance at 50,000 for agriculture. Is this for just the one tractor that you have?
No, we have 2 tractors, and we got 2 riding mowers that we use, and 1 dilapidated vehicle that we frequently have to scrounge for parts from Public Works or some other department.
Okay.
It runs today, quits tomorrow. So
Yeah, because the mayor says he does a lot of things also. And at least for the farmers in your area, maybe you could tap into his services more, and maybe have him help you with the repair and maintenance for some of the smaller items.
yeah, the mayor will help us if we ask, you know. We do support MBA also. We mow their areas, especially when they have a group of tourists coming. They will come over and ask us, can you please help us? So we have to drop everything and do that.
Okay, so my last question, sir. Chairman, may I continue?
Please
On your
proceed.
MVA trust fund, you have cleaning services. Is that part of what you do? Do they pay you from that account?
They provide diesel.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Well, you might want to look into that and maybe work with MVA and DPW and check with your chief over there, because there looks like there's some money that can help you out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.
Thank you, Floor Leader Marissa Flores. RD Borja, I recall many Ways and Means budget hearings the past legislature. I believe you guys have a boat in Fish and Wildlife. Is that still operational?
You know, let me start from the beginning. We had a boat that we acquired from DPS. It's a Zodiac. Okay, so we took it to Saipan to be repaired and put a new engine. They cut a PO for it, but when Governor Palacios came in, he stopped the payment, so it's still sitting up there at Roland Johnson's
Also
property.
also the boat right now is in Saipan.
It's, yes. But,
And how much was the cost to get that repaired?
well,
Do you happen to know that on top of your
with
head?
the two engine and,
Oh, two engine. You
two
need
engine
brand
and,
new?
yes, and, rubber on the side, you know, for the Zodiac. The rubber is expensive, the bumper. So we sent it up to Saipan because when they gave us the boat, they took everything out completely, even the door cabinet, the cabinet for the doors. They all stripped completely naked. So we towed it up to Saipan and gave it to Roland because Roland is willing to repair for us. So the estimate was with the two engine, 130, remember, 139,000, I believe. And it was PO'd already. But then
Okay.
they stopped the
What was
payment.
the source of funding at that time when you said it was PO'd already to pay that
It was the ARPA funding.
ARPA funding? Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Further questions for RD? Let me recognize Representative Juliogo.
Thank you, Chair. Parks and Recreation, you said that NVA will contact your office for assistance, right? How many tourist sites that you guys assist in I guess, cleaning or maintaining on Tinian? Is the mayor's office also assisting in those areas, cleaning those tourist sites, or?
There's some areas where the mayor's office staff will assist us.
Mhm.
But I think we submitted the number of sites that we have. I know we got more than 30 sites that
And
we
that's tourist
clean.
sites?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and NVA also, I think they have an office here, a branch here that also does the cleaning and maintenance of the same locations, or?
Well,
No?
sometimes, like especially now, the rainy season,
Mhm.
they won't be able to catch up. I think they only got one or two employees moving a whole bunch of tourist sites. So there are times when they ask for help. So we would help them mow the area. We help each other. We have to, right here in Tinian, we have to work together.
I think NVA should be contributing more to your department or division for Parks and Recs,
More than
yeah.
just few, I would agree with you.
Yeah, and then under repair maintenance, you're asking for 40,000. What is that repair maintenance for under Parks and Recs?
Mostly, again, this is for parts for our heavy equipment.
What
Tractors.
type of,
Just the same tractors and riding
Tractors?
mowers.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys have tractors on Parks and Recs? What do you guys use the tractors for?
Yes,
I'm just
because
curious.
under the Division of Parks and Recreation,
Mhm.
they handle the public parks and tourist sites.
Mhm.
So when it comes to agriculture, Division of Agriculture, you're using the tractor mowers for ranchers and farmers.
Okay, so you're
Let me
intermingling that.
Make that more clear. We have two tractors. Parks and Recreation don't have a tractor.
Okay.
So we have to quit mowing the ranchers to do the Park and Recreation area. So, because they don't have a tractor. We only have two personnel on the Parks and Recreation. One is on Saipan and one is over here.
Did you say there's one person on Saipan?
Yes.
He relocated to Saipan?
Well, he's for medical reason that his wife is up on Saipan, so we transfer him to the Parks and Recreation on Saipan.
So you only have one person out working out,
One.
cleaning out in those
So,
tourist sites?
yes, so the two operators, heavy equipment operators, are the one that is supporting the Park and Recreation here in Tinian.
Okay. And I see that you're also asking for 30,000 for fuel and lubrication. NVA is helping at a very minimal, and in the operational supplies, what is that for, the 20,000? Can you just break it down?
Well, NBA will support us with 5 gallon of diesel at a time. you know. So
Yeah, like I said, I think they should be contributing
contributing
more. Yes. I guess that's all I have for now. Are you?
Thank you, Rep. Pogo. Uh, any other member? Floor leader, please.
Thank you. And again, let's go back to sustainability. Repairs and maintenance, one of the things we never do is plan. So you're looking at 110,000 in repairs and maintenance total for everything under DLNR. And that would be enough to suffice everything, replace tires, all of these things that you might forecast as problem areas. Did you factor typhoon into that?
no, not really. The cost of tires alone for the tractor is more than $1,000
Okay.
per
So,
tire.
all right, so that is also included in this
Yes.
100,000. You've taken everything?
Everything.
All right. So I guess, can I ask you a question? Because I think I'm going to ask the chief this later. Do you have a inventory of all of your machinery, anything that requires a tag under the procurement and supply laws? Are all of your equipment accounted for?
Yeah, yes and no. Because like I said, the pickup truck that we had, it's all built from scratch.
Mhm.
So, you know, that one is not, because it might be working today, but not tomorrow.
So it's probably not worth $5,000
Not
either?
worth, not
Okay.
worth. Way,
That's probably why it's
maybe
not tagged.
$500.
Okay. But you do have all of your heavy equipment, machinery, and everything that requires you to be tagged. It is all tagged with the
Procurement.
procurement regulation in compliance.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I yield. Thank you, sir. Oh,
Yes, Congresswoman, I would like also to add, it's not only parts that we're purchasing. I mean, yes, it's parts, but there are some that's usually wear and tear that we buy in bulk, which means that, for example, fuel filters, hydraulic oil on the filters. We don't wait until that part needs to be replaced and the tractor breaks down. So we're buying certain areas of parts in bulk purchase.
okay. That's good. I'm glad that you do that because then it gets cheaper. But, you know, and again, I have to applaud you on your planning for repairs and maintenance because at the end, we are very notorious for not repairing and not maintaining equipment, therefore costing 3 times more than what it's really, you know, we could really save if we just do it right. But I'm glad that you guys do that. And then I have to ask a question on this Tinian Lookout Observation Deck. Do you take care of that? Is there a way, what is this place?
No, we don't. We don't. At the beginning, we were mowing that area, but then we stopped doing it, and I believe the mayor's office is the one doing it, and MBA.
Okay. All right. So whatever they do comes out of that particular fund? No? Okay. That doesn't apply to you, sir. I'll go ahead and ask a follow-up with Mr. Perez. Thank you, Chairman. I yield my time.
Thank you, Flor. Any other member? None? Mr. Borja, just a quick question under Parks and Rec. Is DPL paying for a portion of your staff's salary?
No,
None of your employees are
None.
receiving any
none
funds
from
in regards to
DPL.
DPL? All the sites that are considered tourist sites here, is it under Parks and Rec's responsibility through your office that's addressing the needs for those areas?
But yes, Parks and Rec and also the MBA are. you know,
MVA's paying you guys or just,
No, just the
providing fuel?
fuel, like 5 gallons a day.
5 gallons a day. How about when they have events over here? I guess maybe they're not really events, right? Because those are local events sponsored by MVA, like the BBB, the Pika Festival. MVA is only a sponsor to those, right?
No, we don't support them other than just cleaning the tourist site for them.
For them, and all they give you is fuel, no maintenance costs or anything like that.
No, only few.
Okay. Sorry about your boat. Now we know exactly about that boat now. We actually funded that under the delegation to pay for the engines that cost about $60-some thousand for the 2 new engines. Later on, to find out that it was a project for the second senatorial district, and the AG got a whiff of it, so that we had to stop that transaction. They couldn't get you the engine because the boat that would have been utilized in the second senatorial district, and the AG doesn't allow a crossover of funds between municipality. He's aimed to veto a lot of those. So on behalf of the chairman of our delegation, we apologize for that. We had to transfer that money and put it for the water break over at our fishing base. But
really?
we did appropriate the funds. They were already in the process of purchasing those 2 engines for that boat. But sorry, we apologize that they had to move that money. But I guess that's something that we can work with your good representative from the second senatorial district to find additional funds to appropriate to get that boat here to Tinian.
If I may ask all of you to try to convince Saipan to give us at least 1 boat. I know they got 3 boats, and we got 2 weeks ago, or a little bit over 2 weeks ago, we had some people on God Island, illegal entry. So we contacted Saipan Fish and Wildlife to assist us because we don't have a boat to come over here and pick up our personnel and go down and check those people because they were on the island. We don't know what they're doing, whether they're catching panihi or coconut crab or whatever, but they told us they will get back with us and never did get back. So, that's the kind of help we've been getting.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I think that's important that we know that information, and definitely a boat under DLNR belongs to the CNMI, and the CNMI is from Rhoda all the way to the last northern frontier that we call home. But with that, I yield my time, and there's no other questions I get to share.
Thank you, Vice. Are there any other further? If there is no further questions from the members of this committee, RD Gil Borja and Councilman Cabrera, we thank you both for coming before this August body to answer our questions, and I give you the last words before we proceed to the next department.
Mr. Chairman, before my boss gives his closing remarks, if I may.
Please proceed.
Okay, I recognize here under the Division of Agriculture, I'm pretty sure that it was unintentional or typo error from OMB or whoever make this input under the Division of Agriculture says the administrative assistant is vacant. Can you verify that with OMB, please?
For clarification, Ms. V, do you get the question?
I see on the budget worksheet that it's vacant, but we can go into Munis and see. Is there an employee number that you have, or?
Oh, this one is
2583.
The vacant?
I mean, there's an employee number that says vacant 2583.
Oh, no, not employee number, but there is one under. It was mentioned under the Parks and Recreation, but that employee should be under agriculture, administrative assistant. I believe it was like
Do you have
switch.
the employee number so that we can,
The numbers. I cannot really.
yeah, maybe we can recognize Jazz Lizama? Do you know anything about this? Thank you, Jess Camacho. I'm sorry. My good colleague here looked at me and I made a mistake. So, Consul Cabrera, is that clarified? Her explanation? Do you have other questions for?
Was that lady supposed to be under agriculture, but they just put her under Parks and Recreation and put on the agriculture, it says bacon. Yes.
And under the, because there are 3 FTEs under Parks and Rec. So the position should be, instead of administrative assistant, should be equipment operator 1. Because there is currently an employee holding that position. So, I'm correct? Okay, so we're all good.
All right. Everything good? So with that, RD Borja, I give you your last words. I give you the floor.
Well, I just want you to know that we appreciate you people coming down to Tinian. Every time you guys come, we're expecting a lot of help from you folks. So hopefully you help us more this time because we're in critical needs. And my asking actually is, the most important thing is for us to do a patrol for the military leaseback area. We need a boat, you know, so that's why I beg you folks to ask Saipan if he can give us a boat, because I don't know if they're making a report to the federal that they're patrolling the military area when we're supposed to be doing that, not them. So yes, and if you can help us with that, I really would appreciate. And any junk boat that needs to be scrapped on Saipan, bring it to Tin and we'll get it running, hopefully. We got a 35-footer that was given to the Department of Lands and Natural Resources 2 years ago. It's a slow boat, like I mentioned on the previous budget hearing, the tuk-tuk boat, you know, tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk. That's Thailand, Vietnam, like that. But that's what we have, so we will never be able to catch the poachers out there. They'll be up on Saipan or on Rhoda by the time we get there. So it's pretty hard. So I really appreciate if you guys can do us a big favor and help us with anything that we can get. If Saipan has an extra boat, we appreciate that.
Duly noted. Undong Clunas Mosi RD Borja. So the chair will now call a short 5-minute recess, and then we will tackle the next department, which is Department of Community and Cultural Affairs. And just for the information of the committee, we will knock off before 4:30 as the staff of the courthouse needs to close the doors before 4:30 or by 4:30. So, and we will recess to continue tomorrow for the rest. But I will 5 minutes recess for as we prepare for DCCA. We want to thank the Secretary of Finance also and OMB for joining us this afternoon. I know that they're going to take the last flight out back to Saipan. Short recess. We are back on our session, and before us is Department of Community and Cultural Affairs Office. We have Ms. Rochelle Regis on behalf of RD Bonnie Borja, and as well we have Alan Perez also to assist on the DCCA proceedings. So with that, Madame Rochelle Regis, I give you the floor for your opening remarks.
Thank you for the opportunity to present the Tinian Department of Community and Cultural Affairs budget request for fiscal year 2026. As you are aware, DCCA oversees a variety of vital divisions such as the Child Care Development Fund, Division of Youth Services, Historic Preservation Office, Nutrition Assistance Program, and the Aging Center. Our programs directly impact the lives of many within our community, and I come before you today with both a sense of purpose and urgency. As we work to shape a budget that reflects our shared values, priorities, and vision for the future, it is essential that we do not lose sight of the individuals and families who depend on the safety net provided by these programs. At the core of any prosperous society is the well-being of its people. Economic growth and technological progress are important, but they are not enough on their own. We must ask ourselves, how can we ensure that every citizen, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to live with dignity, security, and opportunity? The answer to that question lies in our commitment to ensuring that funding for the departments managing these essential programs is adequate, allowing us to continue providing critical services to the most vulnerable members of our community. Our primary concerns are securing sufficient funding for current FTEs at 80 hours, utilities, essential office and operational supplies, repairs and maintenance, most especially for our quarterly maintenance of vehicles, fuel, and communications. Thank you again for the opportunity to appear before this esteemed body. We are ready and willing to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Rochelle Regis, for your remarks. Within the department, are there any of the employees actually are being paid by federal funding? Any employees under federal with regards to wages? Maybe perhaps under historic, HPO?
We have one at HPO.
Okay, there is one that is that
Under
100% paid by federal funds?
Yes.
Are there any other?
We have aging for Title V program.
Title V aging. What is the position on that on the aging?
Oh, they're just a elder assistant trainee where they
Elder
only work for
assistant
40
training.
hours. Yes.
Okay. Are there any other than HPO and aging office?
We have a DYS too.
You have a DYS. How many employees are funded by their salary funded by the feds?
It's 2, but that's all.
100%
their
on
department,
DYS.
yeah. Yes.
All
And
the
we-
staff.
Older staff.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I see that your divisions have requests for utilities, but the governor's proposal did not provide that. Currently, who's paying your guys' division utilities? Is it the mayor's office?
So with aging, it is with mayor's office.
Okay.
With HPO, we bought load since last year, and they still have.
Okay.
With sports and rec, because it's not prepaid, it's metered, it's not being paid.
Okay, but for Parks and Rec, are you getting that assistance from the mayor's office to pay those
The
utilities?
sports and rec,
Sports and Rec, yes. Was it? Yes. Sports and Recreation.
so for now, we haven't gotten any help with sports and rec, only once with DPW.
Okay, so you still have power in your office?
We do still have, what you call this? Right now, our total is 40,889, but
Oh,
according to Ms. 2C, we have a pending of 24,241.52 that it's going to get disputed, but they're still working on it, and
Okay.
we're still following up.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. At this time, I open up for the members. Recognize the Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ms. Regis, for joining us this afternoon. Just to piggyback on the previous question on the utilities, is DCCA staff all in one office?
We have 4 offices. One HPO has their own office. Sports and Rec has our office, and aging.
Okay, so HPO, 100% federally funded, including utilities?
No. There's 3 employee under CCA. One is under federal funded.
One's under federal. And then the other 2 are CCA employees, or
3.
are they MOUs?
3 CCA employees.
3, so total of 4 in under HPO.
Yes.
So their office is I guess their utilities is paid for by the federal grant?
No.
They're
It's paid by our department. at
by the
ci-
department?
Yes.
Okay, I guess when we get to the main DCCA, maybe we can bring that up, that regarding your utilities and some operational costs can be addressed through the grant. How about aging? How many total aging? I know that you said one is Title V, and then
So
the
we
other.
have like three for aging, and then we have 6 for Title V.
You have 6 Title V employees under aging?
Yes.
Okay, so, and that's 100% paid. Those are the Social Security individuals, right? The ones that have retired already,
Yes.
and they're taking advantage of Title V.
Yes.
And the other 3 are direct employees under the federal grant, or are they
Under DCCA.
DCCA?
Under DCCA.
DCCA main office.
Yes.
Right. And then Sports and Rec, you have 6 total,
Yes.
and those are all DCCA employees.
Yes.
None of them, no MOAs or MOUs from the mayor's office for a transfer to assist the officers?
No.
Okay. That's so I guess just the discrepancies in regards to the governor's submission and the department's requests are more of the calculations of benefits, no?
Yes, I believe
The
so.
$4,000. It's just a discrepancy
It's from the
in
fringe
anticipation
benefit.
that the employees are going to choose to get into the DC plan or another type of insurance.
Yes.
Currently, right now, with all the employees under DCCA, how many of them are I guess a member of the DC plan, or are there any members of the DB plan under DCCA?
Oh, yeah. Only the 401. Yeah. One, two, three, 5 of us.
5 of you guys are under the DB plan or DC plan?
The 401.
DC?
401, yeah.
So none, 0 DB plan members.
No.
Okay. And everybody's receiving the government insurance through Aetna, or are they taking advantage of their qualifications with the Medicaid office?
Some. And some are.
So,
Um, 4.
okay. And then under the HPO, you have a vacant position here. Have that been filled?
It's filled. It's filled.
That's filled?
Yes.
Just when was that filled up?
Just recently.
Just recently?
Yes.
Okay, I guess we'll get an update of the numbers. How about the one under aging? There's also a vacancy.
It's still under vacancy.
It's still under vacancy.
Yes.
Are the papers being processed?
It's already been open. for a year because no one applied for it the last time, so we opened it twice.
Okay.
So this time around, we open it for a year to gather more applicants.
Okay. Thank you for that information, but if you need assistance, we may have to take that vacancy away in order to distribute the funds.
Mhm.
And that might be something down the road. I'm hopeful that you guys can fill the position before we finalize the budget process because 20,209 with other fringe benefits is a pretty good distribution of funds to get around the government. Everything else is filled though, right?
Yes.
Do you guys have any revolving accounts?
No.
No?
No.
Do you anticipate to make any revolving accounts or to
I
create any revolving accounts?
am
No, I do understand that, but this is something that we can kind of take advantage of Amendment 25 to help our good colleague here from the Second Senatorial District to be creative in a sense, so that we can make some money for the respective departments, not just DCCA, all your line item departments. So it'll take away some stress from the mayor's office from actually moving monies around to address the shortages, or even the delegation and introducing legislation to give to the mayor's office that will eventually end up being used for something else rather than the actual operations that the mayor's offices need. So I think I'm good for now, Mr. Chairman, and I yield my time. Thank you again, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice. Any member? Recognize Floor Leader Marissa Flores.
I like budget, sorry. Thank you for being here. I know we're going to get out of here soon, so I'm pretty sure my colleagues are going to tell me to wrap it up real quick. So you mentioned you have 10 FTEs, 6 and 4, and 6 are under the Title V program, you mentioned?
Yes.
Where are they at exactly? What
At aging.
agency?
Aging.
Office on Aging?
Yes.
So because of Office on Aging, you have 4 positions, so 2 were just filled?
Vacant position. One was one person resigned, so it's vacant right now, and then one was an FTE that we're trying to fill.
Right, which was the admin assistant.
They changed it to cook.
Oh, now it's a cook?
Yes.
Okay. So you have, altogether you have 3 cooks.
So yes.
Okay. And that will be a Title V?
Yes.
Okay.
No, not Title V.
Not Title V, just a regular FTE. Okay,
Yes.
got it. And then you have Parks and Rec. This is also under
It's
DCCA?
sports and rec.
Sports and Rec, under
It's under
DCCA.
DCCA, yes.
Okay. Sorry, it just says Sports and Recreation. I'm not sure what agency it falls under. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay. You have dues and subscription for Office on Aging,
That
which was your request.
yes.
What is that for exactly?
It's for the food handler. Food handler.
Okay, so how does, you pay CHCC for that, or?
Yes.
Okay. And for how many people? 3?
For the cooks. Yes.
3?
Yes.
Okay, and that's for the whole year?
Yes.
Okay. And they have to be trained every year?
Yes.
Okay.
According to CHCC.
Okay, that's great. Just wanted to make sure that the money's enough, and we don't want to take any more from the mayor because we have plenty special funds. And then you have communications for sports and recreation at 8,400. That's for all the, I assume,
For the whole.
internet for the kids and.
No, it's for the whole department. Like for aging, HPO and our department.
Okay, so that's.
With the internet.
Okay, but you put it all under sports and rec.
Yes.
Okay. So we divide that by 3, and that's all of you. And then DCCA, are you guys still at the library?
Oh no, we're
No
here at the gym.
At the okay, the
Yeah.
gym.
Yes.
So our internet services and communications, that's also to supply for the kids at the after-school program, I assume? Different departments.
Center falls under the mayor's office.
Okay.
We don't manage it. So the building next
It-
to the gym.
Yeah, the gym.
Center, that falls under, that's one of our divisions,
Okay, so that's
separate from DCCA.
Mhm.
okay. And what department is that?
We call it our youth center.
Youth Center, and that's under the mayor.
That's under the
Okay. And no special funds? No
No.
anticipation of creating a new fund anytime soon?
I don't
Okay.
think so.
We get the authority to create the fund.
Just
But
asking.
If the legislature wants to create a fund, we're all in.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's under the blanket, or this agency and office is under the blanket of the DCCA in the 3rd Senatorial District, right? The main DCCA program there. You all get your separate funding, federal supports from the main expenditure authority, correct?
No.
So you apply for your own grants?
Um,
Childcare, you guys
oh,
apply for your own?
That's their office, so they're the ones taking care of
Okay.
them.
All
Yes.
right. And do you get any support from the, let's say, the child care development? Do you guys get any support from there?
For our DCCA department,
Uh-huh.
not that I know of.
Not on the federal side?
No,
Not even your staff?
no. Their staff, not because they're under CCDF under their own.
Are any of the staff under a memorandum of understanding or agreement? Any of your staff? MOAs?
No.
No, none? And none are federally funded, all local fund?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I yield for now.
Thank you, Floor Leader Marissa Flores. Rochelle, just follow up on the questions about the one vacant position that is converted to cook, right?
Yes.
Under aging office, which is, if filled, they will be having two cooks in the aging's office.
We're
Right now,
yeah.
okay, 3 cooks, right? Because
Yeah,
there's
three.
cook 1, there's cook 3, and the one vacant that is right now reflective as administrative assistant, you're converting that to a
Cook.
cook again.
Yes.
Okay. So the facility has its own kitchen that cooks for the Manomcos here, right?
Yes, at aging office.
And because we know that the Saipan branch office, Director Walter receives actually federal grants
Oh, yes.
with regards to food. Are you getting that support also with
There-
food?
Yes,
Here
office
to
of
Tinian?
aging. Yes, they do.
How often are those help coming from Saipan?
I believe they help every time.
So they
They're the
always
ones-
ship or they boat the cargo here,
Yes.
food on a monthly basis. How many times a month do they bring provisions from Saipan here to Tinian? Do you have that?
I believe they do, but I'm not sure how many times they come.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that clarification. Any further from any member? Recognize the floor leader.
So here's my follow-up question. How many people are involved in the Manomco, I guess, how many registered Manomco individuals do you have in the Office of Aging? Participants?
Participants? Wait, I don't have that. Can I get back to you
Sure.
guys?
And do you count them as the ones that go in every day, separate from the ones that are at home? Or do you consolidate those two numbers?
Oh, it's separate.
So how many people do you have at home that you serve?
I am not.
Okay.
So Homebound
Uh-huh.
is 36,
Okay,
active clients is 38,
okay,
and caregivers is 3.
okay. And that's all those are the people you serve under Office on Aging.
Yes.
Okay. You do food delivery as well?
Yes, we do.
And then when you get you guys, do you have a nonprofit organization? Does the Office on Aging have a nonprofit?
No.
No. When you do your food to be delivered and to be served to your participants, your cooks do those services, correct? Where do you buy all of your produce or what have you? Do you get it locally sourced or do you get it from Saipan or where? The 3rd Senatorial District. Do you get it here?
I believe they get before they do send it over, but now I think they're buying it here
They're buying it here. And where would that fund come from?
from Saipan.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
not from
so because here, I don't know, I'm looking at the Office on Aging, and all I see here is NOPs, machinery, tools, and equipment. I don't see anything on food items, which should be part of the budget.
I think that's totally funded by Saipan.
That's totally fine, okay.
My understanding.
How much? Million? 500,000?
I think Saipan might have that information.
Okay,
I
so-
think we're just a recipient of whatever,
They want to give you?
or whatever's needed. I don't know the actual details, but I
And the
feel
only
like
reason
we
why
are
I'm,
funded locally.
and the only reason why I'm asking is I want to figure out how often they draw down, you guys draw down, right? So that gives us an idea of how much we can budget for the whole year, right? Assuming we know that number,
So
but we don't know what that is
according to this, it's $6 per meal.
per meal.
Yes. And they restock it every 7 to 9 times.
7 to 9 days
7 to 9 days.
restock.
No,
Restock.
7 to 9
$6
times.
per meal. Okay,
So usually just breakfast
okay,
and
small
lunch.
portion, all right. But you do have a local vendor here that also you guys pay.
Oh, they paid.
They pay it.
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of confusing here. So everything gets paid under DCCA Central. And then whatever you're asking for here is all locally sourced.
Yes.
Got you. Okay, thank you, Chairman. I yield my time.
Thank you, Rep. Marisa. Further questions? Recognize the Vice Chair.
Ms. Regis, sorry. I know that over the last couple of budgets, a big request is always on vehicles. Are you guys, your vehicles are good?
Oh, yes, we do have our vehicles. HPO just recently fixed their own. HPO gave like 350 to repair. So right now it's up and running.
How about the aging office? Because I remember that that's one of the biggest.
Aging office, I believe it's from Saipan. They're the one who's providing the vehicles
So they got you guys a vehicle already?
already.
Already?
And on sports, we have 2. One is not working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Coda, I know Coda had provided a vehicle here for Tinian and Agigan. Is the Coda being utilized by your office under the aging office?
Not that I know of.
So is that something, because that's, they can pay for that, right? So like hospital visits and all that kind of stuff, and you utilize Coda. There's an agreement between the hospital and Coda, although Tinian right now is considered a clinic. They can pay for the transportation of your Manamco members, and that's free of charge, and it's zero cost to your office for maintenance or anything like that. As a matter of fact, the mayor's office is utilizing that as they have the drivers for it, correct?
We're working on that.
Right?
Previously, it was run by the municipal council.
Okay.
And then there were some issues there. We recently met with Coda because at first they only gave us the vehicle but with no operating funds. So we had to fund that on our own. Didn't really work out. Municipal council wanted to give the car back. I guess they met. I didn't participate in that meeting, so I don't know all the details. But I believe that something is going to be worked out where we're going to get
Okay. Okay, and we'll reach out to them as well, and I hope that actually that program works out for you guys, so that it'll assist your aging population here in their medical needs as well, so that then the hospital will be able to subsidize that from their federal grants that they receive, and will make it so much easier on you guys rather than competing with other agencies in regards to vehicles. You guys can utilize the public transportation at zero cost to you guys, zero maintenance and all of that kind of stuff. No, with that being said, thank you again, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice. Are there any further questions from the members? If there is no further questions, Ms. Rosell raises, on behalf of the committee, we thank you for coming before this August body to answer our questions and give us your answer. And so with that, we give you the last closing remarks if you have any before we dismiss you. You have the floor.
I'll just read this now. Yeah. Yeah. So on behalf of the residents of Tinian, we express our sincere gratitude for this opportunity. It has been 3 years since we last had a budget for operations, and I would like to wholeheartedly thank the employees of Tinian DCCA for their understanding and patience during this period. They have likely grown weary of hearing the word Tadza Salapi. Through foresight and resourcefulness, we have managed to continue providing essential services to our community. We were diligent in stockpiling critical supplies when we had funds. Furthermore, we are consistently reminding our division supervisors to monitor utility usage and encourage employees to be innovative, to cut down the cost of operation. In addition, the invaluable support from the Mayor's Office, the Tinian Legislative Delegation, and our collaboration with various other government departments enabled us to continue serving. I recognize that given the current financial challenges in the CNMI, this may not be the best time to discuss the within grade increase. However, I feel it is important to bring it up as a reminder and to advocate for graded employees. I hope they will not have to wait another 15 years for 2 within grade increases only for WGIs to be suspended again. Should funding become available, I urge that this issue be prioritized. Thank you for your time and consideration with our budget proposal.
Thank you, Ms. Rochelle Regis. And so at this time, members, we are on recess till tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we will start with the Department of Public Works, followed by the Department of Public Safety, and the last will be Department of Fire and Emergency. So with that, we are on recess till tomorrow, 9 o'clock.